Again, bonjour from Mauritania. Our lecture today is about using AI applications to achieve environmental sustainability in North African countries. The research was launched and led by Maha for Peace, Development and Human Rights, one of the leading organizations in promoting development and defending human rights in North Africa. They are based in Egypt, and Mahat is the name of the gods of ethics at the Egypt's old time. And from the name of the organizations, we can tell that Africans are ethicals. We are ethicals. That's why today, when we talk about AI ethics and climate change, we have to start from ourselves. And in partnership with African Center for AI and Digital Technology, a Pan-African think tank based in Mauritania. Muhammad Mokhtar, my colleague, he doesn't present himself. Muhammad Mokhtar, he's the Deputy Director of Democracy and Good Governance Unit at Maha for Peace, Development and Human Rights. He is a human rights defender, an expert in political technology. Also, Muhammad, he wrote many researchers' pieces, and he spotlights on the impact of AI on human rights and society. Maha Jouini, I'm an author and founder of Africa Center for AI and Digital Policy. I'm based in Mauritania. I hold a master in applied technology from Tianjin University of Education and Technology in China. And now I'm continuing my PhD. Also, I'm the regional coordinator at the Global Responsible AI Hackathon 2023, launched by Women in AI Ethics. I'm a speaker and analyst.
Talking in this course about the using of artificial intelligence application to achieve environmental sustainability in North African countries. Okay, first of all, introduction the environmental crisis in North Africa, in Egypt, in Algeria, in Libya, in Tunisia, in Morocco, and in Mauritania. Okay, first of all, that for example, the World Health Organization expected that the climate change will kill 2005 people per year between 2030 and 2050. Okay, due to diseases associated with climate change phenomena, such as malaria and heart diseases. Okay, and also in the midst of 2030, the climate change will push more than 130 million people into poverty, in addition to placing 200 million people in conditions that is wanted to receive the emergency human assistance. Okay. This have an important this have an affected on human rights in these countries. A lot of people will suffering from environmental problems like high rates of air and water pollutions, in addition to extra climate change and catastrophe that is related to the flooding and the lack of rainfall and something like this. In this era, that is the artificial intelligence application will play an important role to overcome these problems and to overcome these problems and to give the people that mechanism to compete the bad effect of environmental catastrophe and human rights. Okay. This course will discuss 6 parts. The first one, introduction. The second one is threats related to environmental diseases in North Africa. And the third one is the role of artificial intelligence application in achieving sustainable environmental sustainability. We in this party specifically, we will discuss how the artificial intelligence overcome the environmental disasters in any countries. Okay, and after that, in the fourth sessions, in the fourth session, we will discuss the successful experience of using artificial intelligence to achieve sustainable environmental development. After that, we will discuss challenges in implementing an artificial intelligence technology in this era. Okay, and finally, we will discuss recommendations. Okay. In the introduction, we will discuss the widespread of threat of environmental crisis in human rights around the world, and also we'll discuss that the extra climate change will affected on the people healthy and the people lives, and affected of economic human rights and economic and social human rights of the people. Okay, and also we will discuss that numbers about the people will affect in the futures. In the futures, that the environmental crisis will affect on the social lives of the people. It will kill 250 peoples between 2030 and 2050. Okay, and especially in North Africa, we will discuss this, how the threats will affect it on this era right now. Okay, the environmental related to disasters is high rates of drought and higher and the floods, the air and water pollutions. Okay, all this phenomena affected on human rights through North Africa. Okay, this phenomena affected to the people lives due to the water shortage, food insecurity, increases rate of disease, and also this caused it by raising the filling of temperatures. The affected on climate climate change in infrastructures and in the poor people, the oldest people, the youngest people, the children. Okay, all affected on the human rights lives. The shortage of the food, the shortage of the water, there is no clean water, and also we will discuss the pollution. Okay, we will beginning with the Egypt, because there is an important environmental issues with water scarcity in the Egypt, and air pollution and rising sea levels. Okay, and the climate change will affect it on the people lives also in Egypt and the ecosystem. And after that, we will continue to explain how Morocco will be affected by the climate change and also by the environmental disasters, like scarcity of the water, and also the air pollution, and the problems related to the ecosystem. Okay, in the Morocco. For example, the air pollution causes more than 50,000 deaths in Morocco, and causes the state uh, 11 billion dirhams annually. Okay, and this all affected on the healthy care and the food of the people. And we will discuss Tunisia and how climate change and environmental disaster will affect it on Tunisia and Libya and Mauritania. After this, we will discuss the role of artificial intelligence application in achieving environmental sustainability. Okay, because of and around the world, many of the stakeholders and the cities, civil societies groups take a lot of steps to competing environmental disasters by using artificial intelligence applications, and these uses have a lot of they use the artificial intelligence application in a lot of ways. Number one, it would be earlier warning system, and you will give a lot of examples on this. And after that, it will be improving food security, improved service to the people affected by environmental threats, and also reduce greenhouse gas levels, monitoring air pollution, and preventing provocation that is harms the environmental, and support the healthy of occasions, okay, and the ecosystem. And we will discuss after this, okay, how we can use these applications and achieve sustainable environmental development in North Africa, and the challenges that will face these countries to use these applications, to use artificial applications in the to competing environmental disaster. Okay, and after that we will finish by recommendations. Okay, that's our course. I finish my presentation right now, and I will looking forward to know your opinions and your adding value, and I wanted to listen to Dr. Maha. Okay, thank you.
Muhammad, he covered the environmental crisis in North Africa, and he also covered the threats related to the environmental disasters in our region. And we highlighted the situation in Egypt, Morocco, Tunisia, Libya, and I would love to add only one information about Libya, because the climate change in Libya put Libya in very complicated situations, because people, they are suffering from the land degradation and sustainable energy production, air water pollution, and the loss of biodiversity areas of a global concern. Moreover, Libyans are suffering from war, are facing the damage of civil war in Libya. And this results, people are migrating from the rural region, which is supposed to be green, and moving to the capital, moving to Tripoli. So in this case, we can say that the climate change is putting a lot of complication at Libyan context. According to ACRC and United Nations mission in Libya, they say that in Tripoli, in the west of Tripoli, there are a military group who took over the places where there are water and green spaces. They took it from their owners and they pushed them to go away from it. So now, in Libyan context, climate change is another factor to increase the rate of civil wars between Libyans. Also in Mauritania, and here in Mauritania, there are something which we have to highlight, that the country already is suffering from desertifications, deforestations, and so on. And also, the capital Nouakchott is ranked on the list of the 10 cities most vulnerable to drawing due to climate change, as most of its neighborhoods are located below the water level of the Atlantic Ocean. Along with this dilapidated and fragile infrastructure, on the other hand, there is an increase of desertification and drought rates, which leads to high rates of displacement from regions, various rural areas. And when I talk about displacement, I have to mention that displaced people, they are generally the children of the free slaves. And most of them, they come from nomads group and some vulnerable groups. As a result of they are looking for water and green space, we have to understand that the most affected groups, they are the marginalized group at the origins. At the end of the day, in case of Mauritania, we can understand that climate change is enhancing and making the social inequality more and more complicated. The marginalized group, some of the Black community, the children of the free slaves, they will begin by the time more and more vulnerable, and they were still living in the displacement to look for green spaces and clean water to drink. Here we go. The role of artificial intelligence in achieving environmental sustainability. Many stakeholders, whether state, civil society groups, or corporations, have realized the disappointed situation that humanity has reached due to the successive environmental crisis, and have begun to use many innovative ways to combat the sequences of the most harmful environmental crisis, leading to a reduction in human rights violations resulting from them. Among the most prominent of these methods was the use of AI techniques to protect the environment and conserve resources, with her as early warning system by predicting and preparing for disaster related to extreme climate changes and predicting the resulting forced displacement, or by providing humanitarian aid to those affected by it, with assessing the various harmful effects resulting from this crisis, or by working to minimize and reduce the levels of greenhouse gas emissions to the closest possible level. The Paris Agreement on climate change indicates the need to reduce emissions by 45% by 2023 and reach net zero emissions by 2050, or by monitoring air and water pollution and unjust fishing operation and deforestations, on or the preservation of the health of the oceans as well as biodiversity. At the same time, they call to implement and using artificial intelligence to design basic infrastructure capable of dealing with our environmental crisis. Like Mokhtar said, he has already mentioned the early warning system, and these pictures comes from India. This is an early warning system about inundations. In the midst of this, our AI system play a key role as early warning systems to predict natural disasters related to climate change. For example, floods cause severe damage to the infrastructures, in addition to the death of many citizens and the displacement of families. Also, monitoring flood operations on a continuous basis helps governments to determine their severe impact and plan for relief operations. In this way, the flood forecasting initiative, in which Google cooperates with many governments, is working to protect citizens from flood damage as much as possible by developing system based on AI that predicts when and where flood occur. If this has happened, it will improve the lives of more than 2 million people who suffer from floods in India and 40 million people who suffer from the same matter in Bangladesh. Also, we have to improve food security. In this context, many applications of AI are working to improve food security related to climate change. With the wide availability of high resolution image from satellites and aerial based on AI, it has become possible to monitor crop conditions and agricultural productivity on a large scale, provide services to those affected by environmental threats. All technology provides services to those affected by climate disasters and assess damage arising from climate disasters. AI technology are integrated into the analysis of flood satellite imagery to report rapid response and assesses and compensate for various harm. Reduce greenhouse emissions level. AI applications reduce greenhouse emissions level and reduce energy damage in various industry. Many companies use AI to help steel plants reduce their industry CO2 emission by 5,000 tons per year. Many estimates and studies suggest that AI-based machine learning is a powerful tool to reducing greenhouse emissions. Also, monitoring air pollution. Many AI applications are very good at monitoring air pollution, improving its quality, and monitoring poaching, deforestations. Smart air purifiers using AI can record air quality and environmental data moment by moment and work to increase the efficiency of air filters. Prevent poaching that harm the environment. AI is used to prevent poaching that harms the environment. In Cambodia, as example, AI program based on machine learning ways designed to predict poaching, to reduce it and protect wildlife support biodiversity and preserves the health of the oceans. AI system supports biodiversity and preserve the health of the ocean. AI is used to detect change in biodiversity around the world and collect data from difficult or inaccessible ocean sites to maintain ocean health. Successful experience using AI to achieve sustainable environmental development. Many countries, civil society organizations and companies have successfully used AI application to promote environmental conservation and combat climate change. Three different successful experiences are reviewed below to identify and build on the reasons for their successful in building other experience in the future. It can present this experience in detail as follows. For example, in Georgia, the government has established an integrated climate change. Sorry, the government has established an integrated climate risk management system in cooperation with UNDP and substantial funding from the Green Climate Fund. AI was used to monitor extreme climate conditions in their system, especially those related to temperature increases using machine learning models predict disasters related to climate change, and many responses are developed to deal with them. The algorithm developed by UNOSAT is used to detect climate change-related floods in many regions across the world and detect rains associated with the climate change. Also, the model was used in Myanmar, Mozambique, and many regions where climate disasters are continuously frequent. Favorable climate conditions allowed pest proliferations in East Africa, Southwest Asia, and the area around the Red Sea, such as locust proliferations associated with climate change in Kenya and many African countries. Leverage international expertise that has used AI to achieve environmental sustainability and its application to North Africa. With regard to the problems of air pollution experienced by many countries, mainly Algeria and Egypt, the use of smart air purification that works to use AI to record air quality and environmental data should be utilized at the moment's notice and work to increase the efficiency of different air filters. Regarding natural disaster associated with climate change that threaten Libya, Algeria, and the coastal area of Egypt and Mauritania, AI systems should be used in an early warning to predict and try to reduce such disaster as well as to enhance the humanitarian response of those affected. Satellite technology must be used to predict floods that may hit Morocco, floods that may hit Egypt constantly. In terms of reducing greenhouse gas emission levels as well as energy damage in different industries, it is possible to use in-house sensor and smart meters to collect data, monitor and analyze and improve energy in use building to reduce greenhouse gas emissions to preserve the environments. Regarding the detection of changes in biodiversity, the use of AI robots to monitor ocean and lake conditions such pollution level, temperature and pH should be studied, especially in the coastal cities of Morocco, Tunisia, and Algeria. Challenges in implementing AI technology. The top of these challenges is the need of funding and various funds to invest in AI applications related to environment sustainability. Also, in addition to the increasing of internal conflicts and terrorism, especially in the case of Libya. A lack of technology awareness, especially the applications of AI among all governments, agencies within the country of North Africa in conjunction, continued use policy of major stands that exacerbate climate problem without considering their impact on citizens in other regions of the world. Weak UN and human rights bodies in dealing with issues of integrating new technology into the fight against pressing environmental threats. With health infrastructures, and early warning system depends on AI, even the general culture of citizens to respond effectively to climate change, lack of political will and political willingness to change in using AI applications to achieve environmental sustainability in North African countries. Recommendation. I would love to give the floor to Mokhtar for the recommendations.
Okay, I am with you. I am with you right now. Okay, there are a lot of recommendations. The first one is we need to rely on all artificial intelligence to predict about the environmental disasters, and also we need to use artificial intelligence application in fighting against air and water pollution, especially in Egypt, okay, and in Morocco also. Also, we need to rely on artificial intelligence application to reduce green gas emissions, okay, levels that is cause extreme weather, okay, because this phenomena will reduce the food, okay, and will reduce the food and the water, and it will be food shortage and water shortage. And also we need to strengthen the cooperation between North African countries with regard to research and study related to the promotions of artificial intelligence in fighting against environmental disasters, okay, and sharing experiments among them, and strangest cooperation in this regard, because there are shortage of cooperation between these states, and we need the civil society and states to really cooperate in this field to achieve a good cooperation and to combating the environmental disasters, relying on artificial intelligence. Okay, also in North Africa, policy efforts have to be built a secure infrastructure to support the local development of artificial intelligence and empowering the policymaker in this field to understanding the use of technology and the use of artificial intelligence in combating this phenomena. Finally, we should advocating for the responsible use and development of artificial intelligence in Africa, and urging the African government to launch African artificial intelligence ethics guidelines to use it. And thank you all of all.
Thank you, Mokhtar. Thank you,
Thank you.
Sampriti. This is the end of our lectures, and we ended to stress to the importance of artificial intelligence, AI ethics guidelines, because we believe that AI should be used to reduce climate change, certainly, and also it have to be used for the common good and better future for vulnerable groups, marginalized groups, poor, women, and all of minorities in the worldwide. AI should be used for inclusivity and the common good.